He's Stonebraker and he does stuff, yeah. Feel the hum of the wheels out there. Not perfect, but he dares to dream. Hit that subscribe, make that bell scream.
What's up, YouTube? Stonebraker does stuff, and this is the second time making this video. So just a heads up, it is currently sunny and there's a light sprinkle. So it's been sunny all day, pretty, chilly in the 50s, not too bad. Okay to ride an e-bike, but I got out probably an hour ago. I got off work to try to get out on my new bike, which we're going to talk about. And I kid you not even 30 seconds after I walked outside, it was raining hard, and then it stopped raining a little bit. So I did get a video recorded, but it was dark, it started to rain. I had to end it quicker. I was editing it right now. I looked outside and I'm like, are you kidding me? It's sunny out now. So I'm gonna try to redo this video with a little bit more sunshine. It is sprinkling just a little bit, but I'll make sure there's no raindrops on the lens, which is what happened in the last video. It took me a week and a half, but I am on my new bike, the newest bike. This is the Hynox Trooper X. This is a folding e-bike, 20x4, a really comfortable e-bike. I've had it for a week and a half, besides last night where I was able to get about 7 miles in. Have not been able to ride it. And then I did ride it again a little bit just like an hour ago when I recorded the first video, which I'll probably use parts of it on this just to see, because I have a feeling it'd start raining again at any second. Don't let these baby blue skies fool you. It's still sprinkling and it looks like it's probably gonna rain shortly. But I wanna talk about this bike. So I had been in the market for a 20x4 folding e-bike, and I had been looking around and trying to find something that like no one had. And I happened to see one video on this bike and I was like, that's interesting. It's a 20x4. It's what I wanted. It's a torque sensor, which is what I wanted. So I made the purchase. And what do I think about it? So first off, let's just go over the bike a little bit. So this bike has a 750 watt motor, which is basically what I look for now when it comes to e-bikes, 750 watt motor. It does peak at 1600 watts. So it does got that upper level of power there. There is another version of this bike, and we'll talk about that a little bit, that just has a little bit less power. But I said this has a torque sensor, and it has a really good torque sensor from the torque sensors that I've experienced. It's very reactive. It does not push you too hard, but it does allow you to give it a little bit power to get to the speed you want. So it acts just like a torque sensor should, based on what my limited knowledge of a torque sensor should do. So no issues at all with the torque sensor. It has Logan hydraulic disc brakes. And I'm just gonna say right now, and again, I just rode through rain and stuff, so the brakes might be a little different now, but the brakes are really good. They're super quiet. They might not be right now, but they were great, super quiet. Also on the screen, I like how it gives you the indication that you're using the brakes. You get the little exclamation mark, so just to kind of I don't know if that's a safety feature, but hydraulic disc brakes are great. This bike is also rocking with 180 millimeter rotors front and back. There's something about these being like super thicker, I guess, to try to prevent certain temperatures. I'm not for sure, but I did see something like that on the website, but they are 180 millimeter rotors. And one of the keys to this bike, being a X as opposed to the standard Trooper e-bike, is this is a dual suspension e-bike. And from the limited experience that I've had on it, going over some bumpy trails, for example, the shitty part of the trail we ride, I did take this on that last night and it did really good. So the suspension is really great. It has a DMN 38 RC air shock. So this is customizable, and I have seen a few videos on this bike where people have gone in and they've taken a little bit out of it to just give you a little bit more bounce and a little bit more hop. To me, it seems great. I don't see a big issue with it, but I did go ahead and buy one of those air pressure things that's specifically designed for shocks. I can't remember the exact name of it, so heaven forgive me for not knowing it. I'll put it somewhere like I do right here so you guys will know. But that will be here tomorrow, so I may mess around with that just a little bit, just to kind of see, like, you know, maybe I let a little air out, maybe it just gives a little bit more bounce, but I'm impressed with the suspension. I've not had a lot of dual suspension e-bikes, so I don't have a lot to base it off of, but I don't have any issues with it, so kudos to that. Kudos to Hynox for the suspension. Seems to work really well. Just a few other things like about this bike, a couple things that I've never really seen before is with the headlight, it has 2 modes. So it's almost like a car. It's got your regular headlight, and then it does have the option to where you can do like high beams. So show you guys a little video here. Now I recorded this after I did my first ride in the rain. So I was planning on going into like a dark building or something and showing you, but that'll have to do. You guys can see the difference. So something unique, something different there. The bike also with pedal assist has a top speed of 28 miles per hour. Now, I personally have not, well, I guess I have got it up to 28 a little bit when I first got it, just giving it. But it does take a little bit of pedal work to get to 28. It's not one of those where you just pedal it and give it a little bit and it'll take you there, and then you got to work to go above 28. You definitely got to work a little bit to get to 28. So 28 miles per hour top speed. Once you unlock it, which I have unlocked it, there's an app. We'll show you the app a little bit as the ride goes on. So the app unlocks everything. Hynox says you can get up to 65 miles on a single charge, and this does have a 15 amp hour battery. So you and I both know that the chances of you getting 65 miles on a single charge is probably not going to happen. I think Hynox has been in Neverland with the Munchkins, and maybe the 70-pound Munchkins are riding this on the Yellow Brick Road going pedal assist 1, all working it to get that. But, you know, I would assume you're realistically probably going to get 30 to 35 miles depending on how you ride. So they say 65, you know, I guess we can see on that. We'll do a test at some point during the summertime. I'd like to get a range test on this, but that's what they tell us. And it has the dual suspension like we talked about earlier, the top speed we talked about. So this company I've never heard of. So that is one of the things that attracted me to this bike. Probably also not the smartest idea to buy an e-bike from a company you've never heard of. That only has really 3 bikes out, technically. They got the Trooper, which is this one right here. They got the Trooper X, which is what we're riding today. And then they've got another one. It's a cheaper bike. For the life of me, I can't remember the name. We'll put it there and put the name of it. So those are the 3 bikes they have. And from what my Google sources, you know, I've got inside sources with Google, tell me, is they're a new company and they just kind of started getting out there in March and April of this year. But they've been pretty in on it as far as trying to get their name out there with social media and advertisements and stuff like that. So, you know, give them a chance. As always, this bike was paid by me. Hynox is not sending me free stuff. I don't blame them for not sending me free stuff, but I will give them some credit with this bike. So I did reach out to them because I had saw the bike on a YouTube video, the one video that was out there about 3 weeks ago, and I did ask about it a little bit, and I asked, hey, is there any way that you guys would be willing to give me any type of coupon or even a small discount, you know, if I decide to purchase one of your bikes and make content on it? So they gave me a $300 coupon. So I appreciate that. We'll go over the price of this bike later on in the ride and stuff, but I appreciate Hynox basically throwing out an additional, they got a $100 discount now for everyone. So they gave me an additional $200. So thank you for that. Like I said, they do have other bikes, 2 other bikes, and this is the most expensive right now. This is $13.99 but they do have it on sale for $12.99. So this is the high-end bike they have with the most torque, which this bike has 100 Newton meters of torque. I just went this way. What am I doing? So it is the torqueiest bike they have. So the one that's below this, which is just the standard Trooper, it's also a torque sensor, and they have it at $10.99. So really good deal for that one. I think that's after the coupon, though. I think it's actually $11.99. But still, you can get it for $10.99. That bike just has a little bit less torque at 85, and it doesn't peak quite as high because, again, when this bike peaking at 1600, I believe the standard peaks at 14, and it only has the front suspension. So that really seems to be the only difference. Is this one's just got a little bit more torque, it's got a little bit more peak power, and I think the major thing is the rear suspension. And like I said, it works really great. This bike also has a pretty large payload capacity, 400 pounds. So I believe 99.7% of people watching this are probably going to be fine with that. If you're that 0.3% and you're above 400 pounds, leave a comment down below. I want to give you a kudos for enjoying life and doing what you want and what makes you happy. But if you're 400 pounds and under, this bike is not going to have any issues hauling your big booty around. Also has turn signals, so I'll post a little video here. I like the way these turn signals are designed on this bike. I like how they're just kind of their own part of the brake light. It's not like it's just a brake light and then you just see something blinking. They have their own little area, if that makes sense. I'm sure it doesn't, but you know, it makes sense to me, so I'm just gonna roll with it. So I like the look of the turn signals. The power control is laid out nicely too, so it's got a nice power control there. As I said, it's a folding e-bike, 20x4 fat tires. These are the Chow Yang tires, so very common e-bike tire on these type of bikes. And Hynox says that this bike will fit riders between the heights of 5'1" and 6'5". So most people, when they say that, you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna lift up the seat and show you this is what it looks like for the 6'5" rider. Then they're gonna lower the seat and say this is what it looks like for the 5'1". I don't do things like that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take two celebrities. This celebrity is 5'1", and believe it or not, this celebrity is 6'5". So if you can imagine this celebrity on the left on the bike, and then you can imagine this celebrity on the right on the bike, and I'm gonna get to use my turn signals here, so I am happy. That is what they would look like. So 5'1", 6'5". That is a huge range. I mean, that's probably going to fit most people. So I would think most people would be able to ride this bike. So nice range size for people riding the bike. It's got the rubber grips also, which I have them tilted a little higher than what I normally do. I kind of getting into the palm rest a little bit higher than what I'm used to. But yeah, no issues with that. Just something that you're usually see on these bikes, pretty standard. So a few things here about the bike. I want to go over a few things that I actually talked about, but these are things that I can truly say that in my 12 miles or whatever, 17 miles I've had on the bike so far, things that I like about the bike. So first off, I've made it pretty known that I do like the upright riding position on any bike, whether it's a 26x4 or a 20x4. You know, I like upright riding positions. I like being able to have my hands higher. These handlebars are adjustable, so you can raise them up a little bit. They can even go a little higher than what I have them. You can lower them or whatever, but the handlebars are kind of sloped just right, that they're not just flat, they kind of come up a little bit as well. So it's a really comfortable riding position. You don't feel like you're super cramped a little bit, but you know, you are kind of geared in, you know, close. You're not like stretching super far out. You don't have to have a long reach. So I like that really well. The rear suspension also, I need more time with it. I need to test it more. I need to, you know, Dukes of Hazzard it, go 90 miles an hour. But I can already tell that I'm going to enjoy the rear suspension and I'm not going to have any issues with it. So kudos to Hynox on the rear suspension. Another thing that I tend to like on e-bikes is I always like looking at new screens. It just makes each bike feel independent and different from each other. I've never seen this screen before, and I gotta say I really like it. Lots of colors. You got your green, your yellows, your blues, your whites. The font is easy to read. You can go through with the M button on the controller, and you can change the settings at the bottom. You can see your max speed, your average speed, your current voltage, which I think is one of the best things about this bike. It really helps you factor in, okay, this is how much battery I have left. This is what I need to do. I need to get home where I can still get a few more miles. Then it also says things like your ODO and then your trip. And then, of course, how long you've been riding. So, yeah, like the screen, easy to read. Top left, it has your bar. No complaints. Chef's kiss. And Hynox, again, another good choice for screen. So I really enjoy that. The brakes, also, I kind of talked about them earlier with the Logan hydraulic disc brakes. You know, it's rainy, the ground is wet right now. They've probably got some water on them from the earlier ride, but I have nothing bad to say about them. Great brakes, seem to be a really good value on this bike, so brakes are fantastic as well. This bike also has an app, and with this app, it's very simple to use. It's kind of a basic app. But it does allow you to go into it and you can adjust the P settings through the app basically. So you can adjust the speed. You can customize each pedal assist level where you want it at. But yeah, Bluetooth, you can turn the bike on, turn the bike off, turn the light on, turn the light off. So app is easy to use, pretty quick to sign up for too. You didn't have to do a whole lot of stuff. I like the overall look of the bike as well. You guys, if you've watched my channel from the beginning, I've always been a fan of the e-bikes that look like e-bikes. I like the big frames. I like having the battery top mounted. I've had bikes in the past where the battery was on the bottom of the frame and it hasn't clamped in correctly, or I've hit a bump and it's kind of come loose. So with this bike, having the battery on the frame there, you don't have to worry about that. So yeah, another great design, another good feature of this bike that I really like. The torque sensor works great. Like I said, pretty responsive. It gives you assist, but you also can pedal a little harder and get a little bit higher speed like I'm doing right here just to get it up a little bit. So pedal assist 3 is what we've been in a lot of this ride. I've just been coasting at like 15, but you can easily go much higher if you want. The shifter as well, the 8-speed shifter here, the trigger shifter. Your thumb drops it down, your finger in the back bumps it up. Just more comfortable, more high-end than your standard 7-speed Mickey Mouse looking deal. So, and kudos to Hynox for getting it out as quickly as they did on a Thursday night. That's very impressive. And impressive also has been their customer service. So I have had to reach out to them with some things and some questions. They're super responsive. They get back pretty quickly, and they seem really eager to assist and want to help. And I'll tell you why I think that here shortly. So have nothing bad to say about their customer service. Maybe it's because they're a new company and they're trying to get their name out there, but yeah, nothing bad to say about that. This bike is also IPX6 rated, and I definitely tested that in the last video. And I'm gonna actually check the lens just to make sure there's nothing on it, which I don't think there is. But the battery's IPX6 rated, basically means it can go and handle storms, rain. If you ever find yourself in a battle with someone that has a water hose and they're just shooting you to hell, it can withstand jets of water. And another thing is, like, you know what to expect. You know, it's a pretty basic looking e-bike. Comes in 3 different colors. You're not gonna get an e-bike and just not know what you're getting into. If you've ever had any e-bike this size, this price range, you know what to expect. So that was a nice surprise as well. Didn't get really any crazy surprises or anything like that. So yeah, positive experiences so far, and it rides really good. It's comfortable, as I've talked about. So nothing bad to say about anything related to that. Now my cheat sheet, I do have this labeled what I don't like. And I don't know if I would go that far to say, but let me just tell you a little bit about my experience with it so far. So the first thing is when I got it delivered, when I unboxed it, the power cable, which is usually towards the left part of the back wheel, kind of by the kickstand, usually it's right underneath the frame and it's away from the tire. This one was kind of crammed between the bike frame and the back tire. It was crammed so much that the back tire wouldn't move. Now, this could have been a shipping issue, but when I looked into it a little bit more, it looks like that tire is supposed to be, or excuse me, it looks like that power cable and those cables are supposed to be kind of like pushed into a little slot on the other side of the frame, kind of next to the kickstand. So I believe that is the case. And for some reason, again, it could have been shipping, but it was not connected to it. So I kind of had to mess with that. Also, I noticed, and this might be on all e-bikes, there is hardly any room, and I'm talking just this much of space between all those cables by the back tire and the actual back tire. I actually took a couple zip ties back there just to kind of keep the cables connected to the frame. Now, I've not heard any rubbing and I'm sure it's fine, but I don't feel like I've ever seen an e-bike where the cables are that close. I could really see that being a problem, but simple fix. As far as that, also I believe, and this is probably the main issue that I had, this is why I had to take it to a bike shop and why I'm just now really getting a video out. When I got the bike, I went to turn it right. And I've always had e-bikes where you turn it right, you can pretty much move it as far right as you want. This bike would only allow you to turn it like this much to the right and this much to the left. So I got to looking, and as you can see by my Steven Spielberg quality video here, there's a little notch at the top and the bottom which stops it from going that far. Me, being the novice that I am, I assumed that this was like an issue with the bike, so I started jacking with it, and somehow I got it to turn all the way, but I messed up the fork and the whole clamps and everything. So the bike shop dude fixed it for me, no problem. And I guess this is called a, I'm trying to get the word. I know there's a few different words. I think it's called a head tube limiter. So it was designed like that, and it was not anything that was a mistake. I guess it's a safety issue. So I don't like that, to be honest with you. I've never seen an e-bike with that. Now, I have not had any issues riding the bike. I thought it would cause issues, which it doesn't. So it's not giving me any problems, but I don't like having that. So I emailed them. They explained that it is something that is on the bike. It's not a mistake. It's not an issue. They offered to actually send me the stuff to replace it, so that way I don't have it. I told them I had to take it to a bike shop. They offered to reimburse me for taking it to the bike shop, which once I realized it was really my mistake, no, my bad. I'm not going to make you guys pay that. So that just goes back to the good customer service that I had with them. But yeah, that's kind of annoying. So it is what it is. Especially if you've got multiple bikes and you're trying to move them around, you can't turn all the way to the right to move your bike. So just something that I wasn't expecting. So I didn't like that. In the limited riding I've had, it does seem to use a lot of battery pretty quickly. Now we'll do a full range test and we'll ride it because right now it's really cold. But we'll ride it more in warmer weather and stuff like that just to see how it is. But the battery seems to go pretty quickly. And they say this bike, when you unlock it, which I've unlocked it on the app, they say this bike can go up to 28 miles per hour. And on throttle, that's not the case. It does not go 28. The most that I've got it to on the throttle was just over 26. And I thought maybe it was something with my bike. Maybe I didn't unlock it properly, but I watched a few of their videos and I did not see somebody get it above about 26 with throttle. So again, I emailed them. Customer service is fantastic. They told me that the throttle is not going to go more than 26, but the pedal assist is how you can get to 28. So now you know. And it does do that, but I will say the getting up to 28, like I mentioned, is not really as easy as it should be. Typically when you got these e-bikes that can go to 28, it's like you go to 28 with some pedaling, you pedal a little bit, and then if you want to go higher is when you got to really give it, you know, leg power to get to that 30, 31. This seems more like to get to 28, you've got to give it that leg power. So it'll get there. It's just not quite as doable and as easy on some other e-bikes. So just something else. Again, it's not a big thing, just something I can say I just kind of really didn't like about it. Now, two of the things that I will probably say I don't like about it is a loud bike. So let me kind of show you guys if we can get some speed here. All right, so I don't know how good you guys can hear that on this microphone because the microphone is fantastic. But when you're going at really high speeds, it is a loud bike. Maybe I'm just used to some of my newer bikes that are much quieter, but yeah, expect a loud bike. I asked them about that and they just kind of said that's just how the bike is. So nothing wrong with it. It is just really, really loud, which depending on your mindset, you could either care less or it could drive you crazy like it does me. Now, I will say, normally when I'm out here riding, recording a video, I'm not going 28 miles per hour, so it's not as noticeable. And when I'm riding off camera and I just have headphones on or earbuds, you know, you don't really hear it, but just kind of when you notice it, you definitely notice it. So it's really loud. I don't like it. And then also, and this according to their customer service has been fixed, is when I got the bike, the seat post frame, it would not fit into the bike frame. So the seat post pole, I should say, would not fit into the bike frame. I literally was pushing as hard as I could. I tried opening the frame as much as I could. I couldn't get it to fit. I eventually got it to fit and I had to grind it down, moving the seat left and right, and I had to put grease on it. And I finally got it in there, scratched up the seat post really bad, emailed them. Again, they right away said, you're right, this was an issue that we had with some bikes. It's now been fixed on the other bikes. So thank you for letting us know and we are aware of it. With that being said, after I added some grease and I just violated it, putting it in and putting it out and moving it around a little bit, it goes in much easier. But I have never had a bike where it almost looked like it wasn't going to fit, but it eventually did. So those are really the two major things that I can truly say that, you know, I hate about the bike. I don't like the noise when you're going really loud, fast, I should say. And I don't like how difficult and how challenging it was to put the seat post in. So it's a nice bike. It's, you know, and also it's like, I don't want to say again, this isn't something I hate, but like there are so many bikes just like this bike. 20x4 fat tire e-bikes, so like, you know, the Haybike Ranger kind of looks like it. The bike I just had, the Beta, the Huv Beta, kind of looks like it. There's just endless bikes that look like this, so there's so much competition that I don't feel like there's anything majorly that makes this stand out like above and beyond everything else in its price range. And at $13.99, I kind of feel like there needs to be like something special about it. It is a torque sensor and it's a great torque sensor, but you know, maybe have the ability to have cadence and torque. I feel at that $13.99 price range, I think that would really add something that maybe some of the other bikes that, you know, might be $100 cheaper. But who knows? You know, it's their new company. It's their first set of bikes. Hi. So they're going to learn as they go, just like I'm learning as I go as I ride this bike. So I can't remember, did I say the day? If not, hey guys, today is Thursday, May 7th, 2026. That's the problem when you do these videos, when you got to do them back to back. Unfortunately, I've had to do a few of them because I've had issues with the GoPro and of course the rain. But all right, guys, we're going to go ahead and end the video here. New e-bike, brand new e-bike company. I like what I see. Good e-bike. Expect more videos of it. And I will see you in the next one.